I don't see codependency as a flaw. I see it as information. It's a sign that someone has lost connection with their own needs or their own boundaries or their own sense of self in some way. And that does not make them weak. I have been there. It makes them human. And when we shame codependency, we miss the opportunity to heal it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic doctor, and I am interviewing my friend and colleague, Brandi Garden, the co-founder of Aversio Wellness and the author of Healing Your Body, Mind, and Soul. Today, we are diving into Chapter 11, Refusing to Give Up on Love. Brandi, you write something very powerful in this chapter. Love isn't about looking for someone to complete us. It's about sharing wholeness with each other. And I've heard you say this in real life. Hollywood feeds us lines like, you complete me, ick. And honestly, as I've evolved, that idea feels very icky. Why is this distinction so important when it comes to real healthy love?
Yeah, I remember that line too. I think everybody said it to someone during the time of that movie. You complete me. I think because the idea that someone is supposed to complete us sets love up to fail before it even begins, right? It quietly tells us that we're not enough on our own and that we need another person to fill a void or fix something inside of us. Healthy love does not come from lack, is the gist of it. It comes from, I like to think, overflow. When two whole people come together, love becomes something that you share, not something you extract from each other. And that distinction matters because relationships built on completion, they often slide into pressure, really, and resentment or dependency. But relationships built on wholeness, they always feel expansive. They feel like, I choose you, not because I need you to survive, but because my life is truly richer with you in it. And I think of my husband as I say that. That is real love to me, and it feels different in the body.
And it's allowing you to be more of yourself, and it doesn't feel like too much.
Yes.
When you look at modern dating culture, the burnout, the confusion, the disappointment, and I mean, I remember you heard a lot about modern dating culture from me because you've been with Craig. So you're not in the modern dating culture, but you've heard about it and
witnessed
seen it.
Yeah,
you've witnessed it. You've witnessed it. You've witnessed it. Do you think that a lack of self-love is actually at the root of why so many people struggle to find their life partner? And if so, why?
I really do think that. And not because people aren't lovable, but because many people don't yet believe they are worthy of healthy love. And it's not true. When self-love is missing, we unconsciously choose partners from fear instead of alignment. We tolerate things that we should not tolerate. We rush the timeline. We abandon ourselves to avoid being alone. I get it. And you're right. Dating culture right now is, I'm so glad I'm not in it. It is fast and it is transactional and it often is disconnected from the heart. And without self-love, it's easy to confuse chemistry with compatibility or to confuse some attention, which feels really good, with intimacy. And self-love is not selfish. It is a clarifying act. It helps you recognize what feels nourishing versus just what feels familiar. The brain loves familiar. Let it go. And until that clarity is there, relationships tend to repeat the same painful patterns. So self-love is a necessity, in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
I hope you're listening, friends of mine.
Yeah, I would agree with that. When you talk about codependency in this chapter, it almost feels like less of a relationship issue. And I think as more of being like an out of balance within ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you see codependency as an invitation to come back into alignment rather than something to judge or shame?
Absolutely. I don't see codependency as a flaw. I see it as information. It's a sign that someone has lost connection with their own needs or their own boundaries or their own sense of self in some way. And that does not make them weak. I have been there. It makes them human. And when we shame codependency, we miss the opportunity to heal it. When we see it as an invitation back into alignment, then it becomes really empowering. It asks you to reclaim responsibility for your own happiness instead of outsourcing it to someone else. Again, something you say all of the time. No one is coming to save you. Healthy relationships require two people who are both willing to grow individually and together. Codependency is not a life sentence. It's just a signal that it is time to come home to yourself.
Very beautifully said and articulated. There's this powerful idea that is woven through the chapter that we are love. We are loved. And when we live from
Newsflash.
Newsflash, we're love. When we live from that place, that's where love finds us. What does it look like in real life to be love instead of searching for it?
Being love looks like living authentically. It is laughing more. It is dancing in your kitchen. It is speaking honestly. It's setting boundaries without feeling guilt. It's choosing kindness toward you first, toward yourself first. When you are what I think of as being love, you are not scanning the room for who might save you.
Yeah.
You are fully engaged in your life, and that energy is magnetic. Again, I have watched it around me in these last few years so clearly. Love does not find us when we are chasing it. It finds us when we are embodied, when we are present, when we are open to it. So when you are aligned with who you really are, love recognizes you instantly. I literally have this on a big painted, beautiful piece of art behind my dining room table. I've said it to my kids 1,000 times. If you are looking for love, stop. It will find you when you start doing what you love and being who you really are.
Totally. I remember both you and Craig saying, just do something you love and be you, and love will find you. I love how
Did it find you?
It did find me.
It works.
I love how you talk about doing what lights you up. You mentioned this, loving your life, loving yourself. You mentioned that you met Craig on the dance floor and you love to dance.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that's where you'll find your person. Why do you think alignment attracts love more powerfully than searching ever could?
Because alignment changes your frequency. When you're doing what lights you up, you are emitting joy and confidence, and those qualities are incredibly attractive, regardless of your gender.
Yeah.
Searching often carries an undertone of urgency or lack. We've all seen it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
alignment carries peace. So love is drawn to peace. And I met Craig while I was laughing and dancing with friends. I was not out looking for a soulmate that night. I was just being me. And that's when love showed up. When you love your life, you stop asking love to rescue you. You invite it to walk beside you instead. And it feels so good.
What would you say to someone who deeply wants to find love, settle down, build a life with someone, but feels so much pressure from timelines, age, or expectations?
I would say pressure is not intuition. Like, forget it. Love doesn't operate on a deadline. It operates on your readiness. And readiness is not about age. Oh, I have goosebumps in my body. It's not. It's not about milestones. It is about self-awareness and emotional availability and openness. And when we rush love because of a timeline, we often bypass alignment. We see it so often. And that almost always costs us more time in the long run. You stay in the relationship for so many years that you could have been using to meet yourself. You marry the person that ends up in the divorce, and 10 years later, you're rebuilding from something. So trust that your life is not late. Trust that love has not missed you, I promise you. The right relationship will meet you where you are, not where you think you should be.
The title of this chapter is Refusing to Give Up on Love. What does that mean to you now, after everything you've walked through in your life?
To me now, refusing to give up on love means choosing it consciously every day, even when it would be easier to shut down. It means choosing love over fear. It means... This was a big one for Craig and I in our relationship. Communication over silence. So easy to give someone the silent treatment and feel like you're punishing them because of it. And we made a pact years ago to cut that shit. You have to communicate. Even if it's hard, even if the communication feels sticky, communication over silence is key. Repair over resentment. Love is not passive. It is a practice. And after everything that I have walked through, and that is illness, that is uncertainty, that is loss, growth, I know love is what makes all of it meaningful. All of it.
For someone who's never experienced a truly healthy, balanced relationship, how would you describe what love feels like when it
Mm.
comes from wholeness instead of fear or attachment?
Feels safe,
Mhm.
calm, unlimited. Healthy
Mhm.
love doesn't feel like anxiety or obsession. And that is, I think, what I see and even what is portrayed on social media and on TV and in movies so often. It does not feel like walking on eggshells
Yeah.
for someone else. It feels like being deeply you, being yourself, and being celebrated for that. Again,
Mm.
a favorite thing of my husband. He is not shy about celebrating, pointing things out that I haven't even thought of, and me for him as well. Things that he's often thought were faults. I can see the good in those things, and I'm not shy to say it. And we
Mhm.
have to do that. We have to be celebrated for who we are. There's room to grow. There's room to breathe in these relationships. There's room to disagree, but without fear of abandonment. I'm never worried, no matter how much the disagreement goes to, that there's never fear of abandonment there. When love comes from wholeness, it feels supportive rather than consuming, and it strengthens you instead of shrinking you. So if you are feeling shrunk, if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling obsessed, it's probably not love in the way it could be for you. It has to
Mhm.
come from wholeness.
Mhm. Yeah, it's calm. It's the parasympathetic nervous system versus
Yes.
the sympathetic nervous system
Yes.
with what we see in Hollywood with I'm obsessed with you and
Yes.
all of these
So
things.
nervous that they're gonna come home and things aren't the way they're supposed to be, or that I'm not, attractive enough for this date night, or such bullshit. Not the real deal. It does feel like regulation. It feels
Mhm.
like being held. Even in the hard moments, you can have I actually love a good debate,
Mhm.
but there's never fear that if the debate doesn't go well, I'm gonna be divorced on Tuesday. That if that's happening for you, there's some work to be done. It's not
Mhm.
ended, there's work to be done.
There's work to be done. If someone listening has been hurt, disappointed, or feels like giving up on love, what would you want them to know from where you stand today?
Yeah, I'm not a love expert, I wanna say that. I am not a therapist or a scientist or a doctor, any of those things, but I would want them to know that love hasn't failed them, that it's been teaching them this whole time, even heartbreak, even something ending. Every disappointment you have experienced is information for you. It is not a verdict for you. It is just shaping your capacity to love even more deeply, more consciously, more honestly than maybe you have before. And you don't have to rush back into love. Like we
Mm.
said, there's not a timeline. But I hope you don't close your heart to it either. The world needs your love, just like it needs mine and everybody else's. And you deserve to experience it in a way that feels safe and nourishing for you. Refusing to give up on love does not mean tolerating pain. I
Mhm.
feel you. I feel you. It means believing something healthier is possible for you. I
Mhm.
promise.
Definitely. Chapter 11 reminds us that love doesn't disappear. We just have to remember who we are. But in chapter 12, Parenting Tomorrow's Leaders, you
Mm,
expand this idea of love beyond romantic partnership. Brandy,
mhm.
would you say that refusing to give up on love also means expanding how we define family?
Absolutely. Love multiplies when we stop limiting where it is allowed to come from.
Mm, so
Can't wait for
excited.
that chapter.
Don't miss it. We'll see you in the next one.